Vintage Story is a survival game, and the tools in the game are the keys to success. Just like other games in the genre, Vintage Story has a tool for every need. So let's make some tools and survive in Vintage Story. Funding for this video is provided by viewers like you. I've created a number of guides for Vintage Story. My first tools video only covered the starter tools in the game. In this video, we'll talk about all the tools, materials used, and the ways to craft them. First, let's talk about materials. The game breaks down tools into a number of tiers, which I will simplify based on common materials. It looks like this. Stone tools, tier 1, made with flint or other stones. Your first tools will be made of stone or flint, as you can gather stones with your hands. The durability of these tools is not great and will be the driving factor to upgrading. Copper tools, tier 2. These are your first metal tools. Copper tools are your gateway to all other metalworking in the game. The durability of these tools is greatly increased. You also get a bit of a speed boost. Bronze tools, tier 3, are alloy tools, meaning you'll need to mix metals to make bronze. This allows you to mine harder stone like borax. Just like with the previous tier, you'll see greater durability and speed of use. Iron, tier 4. You will need the bronze tool from the previous tier to obtain iron. I would argue that iron tools are the most widely used tools in the game. There's a big jump in durability and speed. Iron tools are my goal as early as I can obtain them. These tools are truly game-changing. Steel, tier 5. This is the god level tool. These top-tier tools are a long road to obtain, but worth all the blood and sweat you use to craft them. Needless to say, these tools last and last and last. There is also a metal scrap tool, which is tier 0. I'll talk a bit about that at the end of the video. Now that we understand the materials we need, let's talk about the process of making tools. There are 3 main ways to make tools: knapping, casting, and smithing. The tool and the material will determine the process we use. Let's explore each process and unlock the tool you'll be able to craft. The knapping process is universal in the game. This is the same mechanic you use when making clay. Knapping tools is mostly used in the early game, as you'll be using stone or flint here. You will need 2 pieces of stone or flint to start. 1 piece you'll place on the ground, and the other you'll hold in your hand. If you've done it right, you will see a menu in front of you with all of the tools you can craft. Yes, you can craft some weapons here, but let's save that for another video. The following tools can be created by stone knapping: a wood axe, a hoe, a knife, and a shovel. Now make your selection and knap away. When complete, you'll have the head of the tool in your inventory. You'll then need a stick or bone to complete the tool. The bone handle can only be used on a knife or wood axe. I know, I wish it was every tool. A Drax can dream. The next 2 methods for making tools both involve metal. Casting is done by filling molds with hot metal made from clay. The best part of this process is the sound that is made when pouring the metal into the molds. So good! You will need a number of items to make this process a reality: a fire pit, a crucible, metal, charcoal, torches, heat, and a set of tongs. That metal's hot! Here is the list of tools that can be cast from the molds: an axe, a hammer, a hoe, a pickaxe, a pro pick, better known as the prospecting pick, and a shovel. This is by far my favorite way to make tools. Pour in the metal, wait for it to cool, grab the head and a stick, and you're on your way. The molds are limited to a number of tools and items in the game. However, like most things in Vintage Story, you can find a mod that will give you more tool mold options. The final way to make tools is the metal smithing process. There are many tools that can only be made through smithing. We'll cover those here. Smithing starts with casting. Yes, just like every great crafting adventure, there are many steps. Start by heating up some metal in a crucible. Pour out an anvil and a few ingot molds. Hey, both are hot, so don't forget your tongs. Once the molds have cooled, grab them up, place a couple of ingots into the forge, and reheat them with a bit of charcoal. When they're nice and hot, grab one with your tongs and place it onto the anvil. This will bring up a nice looking menu of tools to smith. Some of the tools on this list can be made here and also by casting. Others can only be made by smithing. Here's the list. I wish this menu was a bit bigger and the icons had some text, but I think it's just a personal preference. Let's start with the tools that you can make here. the chisel, cleaver, knife, saw, scythe, shears, and a wrench. And just like I mentioned, the axe, hammer, hoe, pickaxe, pro pick, and the shovel can be smithed or cast. Once the tool is selected, use the hammer to knap out the metal bits to create the tool. When you're finished, you can wait for it to cool, or you can toss it into the water. Another wonderful sound in the tool making process. Just like with the other tools, you can attach a stick and you're ready to work. Iron and steel are a bit more complicated than the other metals. Neither of these metals can be cast in a mold. Iron needs to be processed in a bloomery, which will create iron blooms. You will then heat the bloom, use the hammer to remove the slag, and then form it into an ingot. Now you're ready to craft your first iron tool. Easy, right? Steel is a multi-part process. Guide video in the description. Once you've achieved steel, you'll take the ingots and use them to make tools with the same process as the other metals. Note, for steel, you'll need an iron anvil. There's a link in the description to help with that as well. There are tools that can be obtained with a scrap weapon kit. This will randomly generate a tool or weapon. When you craft the kit, you can use it with the chance of obtaining a scrap axe or one of 4 other weapons. Now that you've made all of those cool tools, where do you store them? All tools can be stored or leaned on the ground. Be aware that some require 2 blocks to lean. I find I use this method more at the start of the game. My go-to is the tool rack. This rack is one of my favorite parts of Vintage Story. The first time I built one, I was blown away that you could just hang your tools on the wall. Love it! I always build the patented tool wall for all of my tool storage needs. One place to place all of your tools and never lose them again. There they are, the tools of Vintage Story. What did I miss? There's always something. Tell me, what's your favorite tool to make? Me, I love the shears. However, I don't love making them since the change in the last update, but I do love using them. More sticks! Also, what flavor of bronze is your go-to? Mine is black bronze. It is also not the easiest to come by, but my God does it look good on all of those tools. Side note, I also think it makes the best lantern in the game. Do you have a good tip for me? Please leave me your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.